like this. Right. It's all countries. It's basically the Olympics for submarines and destroyers, and they go out in the ocean.
And we have a lot of them because we're...
Yes, but you are the only you're the only Navy that allows beer on the ship.
Sure.
So you guys, it's like, the Australians are here, and everybody fucking parties. They didn't know this in Pearl Harbor, but if a Japanese ship, which, by the way, unconditional surrender, what the fuck are you doing with the Navy, Japan? That was kind of the deal, was you never fucking reassemble this shit ever again. You're done.
Sure.
But they're there. But the Japanese and Koreans, you can't let them see each other's flags, or they'll go crazy. They'll like fucking throw rocks at each other or worse. So they took they didn't know what to do, and they found out way too late. And the Australians went, "Hello, mate. How about we just take our big fucking filled with beer, drunken destroyer,
2 beers per man, perhaps,
it in the middle of the harbor so the two ships couldn't see each other." So if you were on the Australian ship, which everyone was, just drinking, getting fucked up, you look to your right, it's the Japanese, and they're all in their periscopes looking over, like, waiting for that Australian ship to move. And the Australians would keep, like, starting the engines, like, acting like they were going to they were going to leave, and then the Koreans and the Japanese would get all fucking crazy.
And then they'd laugh and have another beer. And
yes. It was the best.
The policy of the Australian military the actual policy is 2 beers per man, per day, perhaps.
I was going to say, how long does that last? But you guys have an underrated military.
Never lost a battle except for Gallipoli.
What's Gallipoli?
Gallipoli is like...
play for the Celtics?
It's from World War I. It was a battle in Turkey. It was like Mel Gibson's second movie. It's a really good film.
World War I?
World War I, yeah.
No one won World War I. Everyone sat in a fucking muddy ditch.
They still made old Australians who hate Turkish people.
This is pretty bad.
They made them run
hates Turkish
They used to make them run over the wall and they just killed them.
They got big concrete caps
the English called it. The English called Operation Body Shield, where they made all the American black and the Australians run over the wall, so the Turkish would just mow them all down while they pulled their boat around the other side.
How did the Australians get lumped in with? Did they even know that
we were the fucking convicts? They hated us.
They were all British.
They were all British. We were ruled by the British military.
It's a Commonwealth.
When you're in Australia, are you aware that there's like a civil rights struggle going on in the United States? Does it make
the Australian news?
Let the guy from Pittsburgh answer Australian civil rights questions.
Well, when I live in Australia, the Australian news is mostly English centric. Like, they don't listen to they do now America, but it was mostly because they're part of the Commonwealth. They mostly get like British news. So
we have our own news.
Yeah, but nothing really goes on there.
Yeah, but things like
shark attacks.
Steve's lost his bike.
Yeah.
The wine's bouquet smelled like an Aboriginal's armpit.
A footy player raped a girl. That's like
that's
like
a big
daily news.
When that happened.
We finally beat the All Blacks.
Yeah, exactly.
That hasn't happened.
I know.
No, we've beaten them.
I want to go back to the guy that had the heart attack in the plane. Where were you going? Where were you leaving from?
I was flying from LA to Britain.
How much was your ticket?
Oh, I wasn't in first class. I'm not Eddie. I fly business. It was a reasonable price British Airways ticket, maybe $1,400.
You flew fucking coach for 14 hours?
No. To England, it's 8 hours.
From LA?
From LA, maybe 10 hours from LA, but it's only 6 hours. It's only 5.5 hours from New York.
Yeah. It's an easy one.
Yeah.
All right, so LA to London.
Yeah.
Now, what part? So he was over the ocean.
Oh, we'd just fucking gotten over New York.
So why didn't they U-turn and come down into LaGuardia?
He's not going to get more dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's going to rot.
They have no policy. I've been on a plane where someone gets sick. They keep going. They don't give a fuck.
I think he was English.
They keep fucking going.
I think he was English, and it's better to be home with his family. But the wife was outstanding. She was like, oh, well, he led a good life. I'm like, why aren't you freaking the fuck out?
Shock.
And every time there's turbulence.
Shock.
What?
Shock. You're going to shock.
She was all right. She just sat next to him. They put a towel over his head. So that when we all went to the toilet, we didn't have to look at the cunt.
Why wouldn't they turn around, land at JFK?
Because they don't. I've been on a plane where a guy was having a fucking heart attack, and they kept going. They pulled the guy up from coach.
Where were you going?
I don't even remember. I was on a plane, and I was drunk. I was drinking with some woman who her husband just died, and she's going to sell all his shit. And she said...
The girl from Land of the Lost.
She tells me...
Grown up.
She tells me that her husband just died,
Holly.
And she's going to sell all his shit somewhere in Ventura, and she goes... She goes,
Get a blanket and I'll jerk you off.
You might recognize me. I was in the Olympics.
Strawberry kisses.
Strawberry kisses.
Excuse me. I just realized. Why would you let a child talk about strawberry kisses? That's
it wasn't appropriate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why? What is a strawberry kiss?
It's your fucking vagina.
Is it really?
I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
No, not yours. Hers.
I didn't know that was what they were called, strawberry kisses.
I didn't give her any strawberry kisses
I just
either.
made it up. No?
No, I just
thought you were
plowed it.
You're disgusting.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that?
I don't, because I was doing it for the story.
That's part of. You didn't even know. Fuck.
I didn't know about
You didn't know who
strawberry.
she was.
No, I had YouTubed her right before I fucked her.
But you were going to fuck
How
her.
many times has a woman fucked you?
I called
in your
every
life?
Australian
After
I knew.
she found out you were famous, being introduced by someone, they said to you, "Oh, Jay's famous," and then she's fucked you, and she still hasn't seen any movies. That's happened to me several times.
I don't think I did not have sex with many women because I was famous ever. It was,
What?
God,
Why would you be
oh.
famous? And famous sucks.
I'm not saying I
It's
didn't
the only
try,
bonus of it.
but I always say when you do comedy, you say, and my whole act was to get to that next level of the party.
Sure.
Like, what we doing after this?
Yeah.
Don't
I know.
you? Americans always have to try to do Australian and British accents.
Yeah, it's not good.
We fumble the football like Leon Lett on the 1 yard line.
But then I go
man.
for auditions and do an American accent, and they just look at me like I'm retarded. And it's like so much better than fucking any American's Australian accent.
Except for Gwyneth Paltrow. She could do it.
Gwyneth does a great English. Renee Zellweger did a good English in the Bridget Jones movies. If you want to see a bad Australian, watch Daniel Radcliffe that he did an Australian movie. Harry Potter can't do an Australian.
Yeah, but we're American. We don't.
Meryl
we
Streep
notice.
did a good Australian.
The best. Dingo's ate my baby.
Yeah.
So
we've just had this baby. Let's go for a holiday.
you
Let's see
say
if the baby's
goodnight.
okay on top of a rock.
And you
There's a lot of animals around. Why have we got a baby in a tent for?
leave the baby out on the rock.
Yeah, like the baby's like a month old. You know what we should do? Take it out to the desert. Anyway.
That's what I do with my
That's a
baby.
good Australian accent.
Yeah, I know. But my mother still believes that Lindy Chamberlain killed that baby. So whenever... Because
Was she found not guilty?
Well, see, the thing is, she spent 8 years in prison. And then, like, it's still a debate that goes on to this day.
Like John Benet Ramsey,
Yeah.
but with dogs.
But then she's been acquitted and people say that she didn't do it. But there was weird things that happened. They found the girl's little matinee jacket. I don't know what I call it matinee, but the little girl's cardigan folded up and buried under the ground. Which says to me, oh, well, that's a murder.
Dingoes are very cunning.
Yeah. And a dingo's never eaten a baby before.
That you know of.
That we know.
How were they going to fucking tell you about it?
Then there was a couple of Aboriginal fellas who said they
My
saw
dog
it.
would eat a baby.
There's a couple of Aboriginal fellas who said that they saw a baby being dragged away.
That's
by a
because they
dingo.
did it.
That's
And
because they were
just
drunk on
fucking-
fire
yeah.
water.
Yeah. They've been drinking Kava in the middle of the desert. Have you ever drinking that?
No.
That'll fuck you up. I did that in Vanuatu. Kava is
Is that
like
some shit you do at Burning Man?
this root that's under the ground that's in the Australian area and in tropical islands and stuff like that. And you get it and you just pummel it up into water and it's literally mud. You're drinking mud.
Yeah, I'm going to drink that.
And it'll make you fucking your whole body numb and your eyes white. So you're just like, it's like ketamine.
This sounds like some shit Rogan would do with Doug Stanhope.
Yeah, it's probably. But your
In a
whole
float tank.
Yeah.
I did it in Vanuatu out of a tin can.
What the fuck is Vanuatu?
Vanuatu is good
Vanuatu
surfing.
is just an island.
Is that where the bar in Star Wars was?
Yeah. It's where, you know, when
He said, yeah. He didn't even wait.
Sure.
No matter what I said, I love that. I love when a riff gun is loaded, ready to go. No matter, like when you're on a set or something, you ask a girl how old she is, and she says her age, and you go, nice try. But that girl doesn't realize no matter what she said, you were going to say, yeah, nice try. And she gets all offended. You're like, it's just your fucking turn, you dope. But going back to the original thing is you're on stage, you say goodnight, they all leave that way, you go this way. So to actually get laid, you got to circle all the way back around into the lobby.
I know, it's a lot easier in England, because in England, all the comedy clubs, when you're in the normal, and there's no headliners, everyone's just getting paid £200. And if
I'm
you're,
not going over there for
if,
£200.
No. You'd
you'd be
do
above that.
theatres. You do theatres.
How much would I get paid over there?
Same as what you get here, 70% of the door.
All right.
Do a theatre. It's, maybe more.
No, go ahead.
Anyway, so
You're just doing Colin Quinn faces now. You're not even.
So all the comedy clubs in Britain become nightclubs afterwards. They don't do three shows. They want them to stay in there and drink.
This is how I meet him.
So they move all the tables to the side, and you know what else they do in England? They advertise in bridal magazines. So every fucking gig you do has got 3 bachelorette parties.
What are they called?
Hen parties.
Hen party. The 3 bachelorette parties. all with
done a
fucking
good job for
all
you
with
guys.
fucking dingaling cocks hanging off their heads, drinking through cock straws, and just fucking
I'm getting married.
with an
Wow.
L plate around her neck,
Just-
and just some girl
just
who's
ready to
depressed.
fuck.
Some girl who's depressed because she should have been getting married.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, and so you've got literally at a gig, literally 60 of these women in the room that stay and get pissed afterwards. You're the most famous person in the room. It's the easiest place to get laid in the world, England. Now, America...
Eddie Ifft has a smile on his
It was
face right now.
I've never
America with their rotating, get more people into the gig. I don't even want to fucking talk to a girl that's come to the first show because she'll be forgotten. Her friends will drag her away. I don't even want to have that bait in my life that I could have fucked that thing. I like the late show girls, and you can only do it through selling merchandise.
Yes.
Waiting up for cues.
But isn't it embarrassing that other audience members are watching you go through the motions?
When you do that, when they go, "Oh, you going out tonight?" You go, "Where are you going?" And you take the number in front of the queue of people.
Yes.
You're pathetic.
Yes.
But you have to do it.
And everyone else in the
That's
audience
why
thinks...
That's why you have a handler that does that for you.
Yeah, but we're regular
we have
guys.
we have
Yeah,
a
I'm
girl.
not
We have a girl in
that.
Australia.
I'm
named-
not a black guy with a clicker guy.
we've got
Club
we've got
Soda
a
Kenny.
We have a girl.
would really like to talk to you after the show.
We have a girl named
you again, Jim.
We have a girl named Allison who works for us.
Her aim is true.
Yeah, and after the show, she just stands with us and sells the merch, and then she meets girls
I
for us.
fucked Allison.
And goes,
I was gonna say,
he
why
did.
don't you-
He fucked our handler. He fucked our handler.
Why don't you just fuck Allison?
Yeah.
She's right there.
Yeah. Because Allison does good work. Allison
But
will
everyone in the audience thinks that... I know. Believe me. We all know about that.
Nice
Everyone
girl.
in the audience thinks that you can go, "Hi, come with me." And that's how you get your
Sometimes
chicks.
it doesn't.
For you it does, because you're fucking 9-year-olds in Australia with red hair. That fucking parachute into the Olympics. And go,
I'll tell you,
when
no-
I grow up, my
no-
daddy's going to get killed by a stingray.
When I was drinking more heavily on stage and everything, the gig would always end with,
What do you mean when? Your HBO special that they edit around the fucking glass.
yeah, they did have to. Yeah,
Yes.
And I'm leathered in Alcoholicost.
Yeah, they watered down his beers too.
You say you were leathered?
I'm leathered in
I never heard that
They
before.
watered down his beers. He didn't know it. He kept tasting them, going, "They're watering
No,
down."
that
my
never
beer."
happened.
I thought you told me they did.
No. In between the first and the second filming, I went down and I had a really good first show and I thought it's already in the can.
Yeah.
So I went to get drunk and there was a security guy in the bar that said, "Mr. Jeffries, we're not allowed to serve you any alcohol before the second show."
Beat it,
HBO
asshole. It's my show.
employed a person to make sure that I couldn't smuggle drinks.
Say, you know what HBO stands for? Get the fuck out of the way and get me a cocktail. That's what HBO stands for. You rent a cop.
But
You're
the
gonna
thing was,
fucking mace me, I'll
when
turn
I
my
did
head.
Alcoholicost in England, my English manager, Brett Benson, thinks I'm funnier drunk, so he got me leathered before the show.
I think I know where your careers are going off the rails.
And then,
I got these two guys. They're way funnier drunk. Just let them do the movie, but just let them do their thing. What could happen? They could turn into like a Bruce Willis.
and so
and
he
annoy
got me
everyone around
leathered
them.
before the show, and I got leathered, and then like I blacked out and forgot the show. I don't remember doing the actual gig, and so I watched I did the audio commentary for the DVD on it, and I was like, geez, that came out well. I've never told that joke before, but I am a bit ashamed of Alcoholicost because I was so drunk on it.
But it's a great special.
Oh, no, it did come out well. I'm really happy with it.
Why don't you help Eddie get a special?
Yeah, seriously.
He doesn't drink enough.
No, when I drank, I'm much funnier drinking. Much.
But in all seriousness, do you ever...
My next special, I'll be sober.
No, I don't give a fuck if you're sober or you drink, but your roommate's a funny guy. Like, doesn't it ever come up like, Jim, maybe you could fucking mention
help
me?
the guy.
I got to get myself specials. How am I going to get
You have to, I don't have one.
You've never had a
Yeah,
special.
Jay Mohr and I are doing them for
Comedy Central
Showtime.
10 years ago, when I weighed 150 pounds, I looked like I was dying.
I'm doing another one in April.
You need to know, really?
Rub it in.
Yeah.
Rub it
Your
in.
third one.
Yeah.
You're like the David Brenner of Australia. You prick. You keep doing special after
You
special.
just got to hound him and tell him that you...
Who?
I want to do one now because I want to retire this material and then do another one maybe in December.
So not only do you do 3 specials, but then in a roundabout way, you backhand compliment yourself and make me and Eddie feel like shit because you are now have retired 3 hours of material.
Yes.
Eddie and I'm still closing. I'm going on stage closing with Walken every night. And you're like, you know what? Let me just do a special so I never have to do Norm or Colin again.
Well, I'm more worried about... I've got some material that I've stopped doing now that if I don't record it, I won't remember it in time.
Well, why can't you help him get a special?
He's had a half-hour special.
Half hour.
A half hour.
They give that to
JB
everyone that's
Smoove
done
has
an
had a
open-
half hour special.
He's got an hour
I don't
now.
know what he's saying.
He's got a. I think.
Do you know what he's saying?
Yeah.
I'm not.
My
Hold
first gig in America, he was my support act at Cobb's in San Francisco.
Eddie?
You supported him, I thought.
No.
Oh,
he
JB
was my
Smoove?
support.
I'm not making a joke. I have no idea what he's saying.
Something motherfucker with it, motherfucking.
And on Larry,
motherfucker.
what's Curb Your
Curb Your
all I hear is
Enthusiasm.
Larry.
I think he's funny. I think he's funny as fuck.
I'm watching a commercial of his stand-up special. He's wearing